All right, welcome back to I'm Glad You Asked. I'm Bianca Ariel, business coach and creator of the Career to Calling course.
Hey y'all, I'm Dominique Rice, owner of Dominique Rice Consulting, as well as multiple nanny agencies. Can't wait to connect with you guys.
I love it. So I think we have a lot of follow-up to do today because I'm going to start with coaching school. Me and Dominique and I went through 30 hours of leadership potentials training
in 3 days.
So that's 10 hours a day, non-stop. What did we have? Like 2 breaks and like a lunch break, and that was it. It was literally non-stop 10-hour training. So first and foremost, all I have to say is 10 hours is too long to train on things we already know.
Right. So part of coaching school for me was that there were, like, because we're already coaching and consultants, I'm a consultant, Bianca's a coach and consultant. So because we already are that, this was like kind of the intro class for people who are wanting to become that. I think a lot of people in coaching school, they don't have the confidence yet. So we're kind of like, okay, like I felt like Bianca felt the same way, but I was doing coaching in coaching school when we were practicing, and I'm like, these people need some help, okay? Which is fine. We all need help. Hello, I need all the help I can get. Yeah. But I'm not. Well, I wasn't paying because Bianca's paying, but she invited me as her guest. But Bianca's not paying to go to coaching school to be coaching other people for free. Right. I know that.
Right, absolutely. So like Dominique mentioned, it felt like we were being coached, right? Instead of getting the tools needed to become a coach. But like you said, it was an entry-level class. You could tell like it was just basically basics and foundations of coaching. I can only name like a couple things that I learned that I didn't already learn, like anabolic and catabolic energy.
Very important.
Okay, so anabolic energy is positive energy, right? Is positive?
Right. Yeah, okay. Anabolic's positive, yeah.
Okay, anabolic energy is positive energy, right? So if you're ever, and then catabolic is negative energy. So if you're ever around someone that you enjoy and you really love their energy, you love being around them, but they're always negative. So sometimes you kind of like go back and forth with whether or not you want to continue being around them. That's because they have a lot of catabolic energy. And that's something that I definitely learned from there. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what else I learned. I learned to
aim. Talk about aim. So let me tell you this about coaching school is that Bianca has seen what kind of student that Dominique Rice is. And I'm a student that's going to step, and I'm a student that's going to speak up when I don't agree with something. And also, like, as a Black woman, it's so funny because, like, you know, being that person and Black and a Black blonde, like, it's like, whoa, here she comes again with her don't agree with coaching school principles. But I just didn't agree with some of the things that were being taught. And as people, like, I believe that we can do whatever we put our mind to, and I wholeheartedly believe it, because like if I would have talked about selling my business, like I didn't think I'd be 30 years old getting residual income from selling a business when I, you know, barely, my high school grades were what they were. Like I was never supposed to be this person, but I set my mind to something and I achieved every single thing that I said I was going to do. So to set unrealistic goals or to set these things that are telling people, you know, what you can't do or how you should be realistic and how you should aim for like so the thing that we're referring to right now is this thing called AIM. Bianca, do you want to kind of talk about what AIM is? Because I kind of like blocked it out because I don't agree with it. I can't even describe this shit to y'all, but just know that
it was
ain't gonna be doing it.
So as far as
hold on, y'all. Let me get my coaching school book. Hold on, y'all.
Get your book out because
I've been using my coaching school
goal setting. So anybody that worked in corporate, Dominique hasn't. Have you heard of SMART objectives before you like in life or no?
I call them SMART goals.
Okay.
So I only do SMART goals, but all this AIM stuff,
Yeah, so we were reviewing SMART objectives, and if you don't know what that is, that's basically, you know, a list of different strategies or techniques you can use to establish your goals, right? So you have specific, you have measurable, you have action, you have results, and then you have your target deadline. So that's something that we're taught in corporate all the time. So this particular school came up with their own type of SMART goals, and they called it AIM. And so all I remember is like, is it reasonable? Is it ideal? And I can't remember the other one.
Well, no, here's how it goes. So AIM is like what? So basically, it's three different principles. Like, so it's like, okay,
All right, guys, I'm
like,
starving, but go ahead.
so it's like what your bare minimum would be. So like if you were to say like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, but if I lost 1 pound, I would, that's my first thing. So I would be happy if I lost that 1 pound. Your second thing is like your ideal goal. My ideal goal is to lose 10 pounds this month. But then your middle level is like, if I lost 5 pounds, I'd be medium happy. Where I'm like, oh, hell no. If you say you're going to lose 10 pounds, like reach for 10 to 12. Mm-hmm. Then if you get hit at 10, then okay, cool, you still did it. And if you didn't get hit at 10, that's okay too. I'm not going to beat my clients up. I'm going to go back to say, okay, well, what did we do with our SMART goals? What didn't we do to be able to get there? Mm-hmm. And then let's work on that for the following month. But I'm not going to say, okay, well, no. So if you kind of fail, then you'll be here. But if you like fail a lot, you'll be here. Like, no, you're going to go for your goals, and I'm going to support you and guide you along the way. And if you don't want to go for that goal, then don't. Pick a goal that you know you can achieve, but you have to work hard for.
It's just almost like they were setting up your goals for failure.
Right.
It's almost like you were, so we're basically establishing that you may not hit your goal and that you won't hit your goal. So what's going to be the minimum that you can achieve in order for you to be satisfied? And for me, that's not how you establish goals. No, this is my goal and this is how I'm going to be satisfied. However, as you build up towards your goal, you are content and you accept the fact that, okay, I'm not there yet, but I appreciate what I've been able to do, right? Because you want to focus on how far you've come, not how far you have left to go. But what you don't want to do is establish your failure to begin with, because you're already limiting yourself. Does that make sense?
It's like, I'm going to accept this failure. So who gives a shit? I'm not going to put forth my effort because I have this minimum goal that I could reach and everybody thinks that's cute and okay. Right. And I'm personally not going to tolerate that in my personal life. So if I'm not going to implement those kind of goals in my life, then I'm not going to implement those goals with my clients, because that's not setting them up for success. So another thing that I said in coaching school, which was really intentional, I'm like, now I see why coaches make so much money, because I think the whole class had that response. And we were on camera, mind you, the whole time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, because the reality is like, you're not, like, as a consultant, like, I'm helping my clients set goals and I'm helping my clients get to this money. Okay. Because that's what my clients are. I'm a business consultant. Like, I want you to win financially. I want you to create a life that you deserve. In coaching, it's always like, it's a lot of these airy methods in this particular school. And so like Bianca's coaching is totally different, but it's all these airy, like, feel good messages, which I also am spiritual and manifesting and all of that good stuff. But I said, coaching, you're making so much money because we're not solving any problems in this particular program. I'm like, you're basically like, you don't have to get
rewarding like individuals for not hitting goals.
Right. So like, it's like your clients are never going to get to the point where they don't need you anymore, because guess what's happening? They need you're hand holding them. You might not get a breakthrough for 2 years. Right. They done started a whole new business now.
I want to say that they, like, whenever they follow up with a client and they didn't do something that they were supposed to do, that he celebrates it. Like, I remember someone saying that. Yeah. Like, he said, yeah, I celebrate the fact that he does. And I'm thinking in my head, when my clients don't finish what they need to do for the week, like, I figure out, number one, I always make sure that I give them tasks that are digestible for the week, right? That are realistic for them. So I want to make sure that I'm not putting my own expectations for me onto them. And then we figure out, okay, so either we need to break it down or we need to figure out how we can make this happen. But it's never like, oh my God, thank you so much. You know what I celebrate? The fact that my client put out a video last week and got 4 other clients from it.
Oh,
that's what I celebrate. You come to me and tell me you didn't finish something. It's like, of course I'm not going to beat you over the head, but it's like, okay, so I'm here for accountability. Like, people don't realize all the answers are already inside of you. That's it.
we're just bringing them out of you and
I'm helping you, like I said this morning, step into your power. So, I mean, at the end of the day, but by no means should we be setting up or establishing our failures up front. And if you really are into manifestation, that's like rule number one. We put down what we want, what we desire. Like, we don't put down what we don't want. Like, if I want to lose 10 pounds, I'm not going to put one on paper. Why? That was
You're telling the
wild.
universe you don't want it. Now, if you don't reach it, again, like we keep saying, we're not going to beat you, not beating you over the head or physically beating you, but we're going to address why we didn't get there and what we can adjust to get to that goal. We're not going to set goals that we're, you know, and you as a client are setting your own goals. We're not making up stuff for you to do. Even my staff, when I have my office staff, you know, I have my staff set their own KPIs, which are key performance indicators for the month. I don't set them like their first month. We set them maybe the second month, but the third month, I want you to tell me what you're going to do in this business. Not me telling you what to do, because I want it to be so achievable because you tell me what to do. So like, I'll reevaluate that. And 9 times out of 10, my staff makes bigger goals for themselves than I would make for them. So I'm like, okay, no. Like you said, 12, let's put this down to 10. Like, I don't want you having to, you know, blah, 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 you know, so their goals for themselves are so much bigger than I would ever even put on them. And that's why it's important to listen to our client, listen to your staff, so that way they can set goals that are going to help you grow and to make sure that it's not too much for them. So that's what's important. So B, let's start with you. What were your two positives in your challenge for this week?
All right. So my positive is, well, I'll say my positive was that my client got 4 clients off of a video that she launched. So that's definitely a positive. I'm going to start working with a new client next Sunday. So that's another positive. I had a challenge. I got to start writing these down. I did have a challenge and I don't remember what it was. But ultimately, what I did learn is 30 hours straight is just not going to work for me. I was super, like, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I had a long day, and then Saturday I was out for the count. Like, I slept all day, and my body was completely drained. And then I woke back up on Sunday. Oh, another positive is I have lost, let's see, 6.8 pounds. Oh yeah, 6.8 pounds this month. So I started my new lifestyle July 1st. And what's crazy is, what's wild is I have been, I mean, my weight goes up and down. It's not a secret, like we can see, but I've probably been trying to really like get focused since March, right? So March, April, May, June, my weight has not changed. It would not change. Now, mind you, I was doing keto. I was doing strength training. Like I felt like I was doing what I need to do. My weight would not change. I could move to Mexico and go on a binger. Because just to be vulnerable, I have like binging issues, especially when I'm stressed out. I go on a binger, and then on July 1st, I dedicate like to getting back to my healthy lifestyle, and I lose 6.8 pounds. So I'm like, what has changed? Your environment has so much to do with your health.
Right. And
stress.
Where you are mentally.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, where you are mentally has so much to do with it. And how do you feel mentally, Bianca?
I feel so aligned. I feel super aligned. I'm super happy. I love everybody that's a part of my life. Like, I'm just in a really, really great place. Now, I have highs and lows, and I'm learning to manage that. I don't think it's because I'm so aligned. I think I have a lot of highs, so that one little thing could happen to me and I'll just be like, oh, my life is off balance, because I'm not used to negative energy, which is why I'm really going to be protective, like moving forward. There's no need for it. There really is no need for it. So, and I'm very solution oriented, which we'll get into today as well. So, but I always think I love to be by myself because everything is just copacetic. Like, I don't have to deal with any outside factors. You know what I mean? Like, if it has to do with my business and my clients, like, yes, but anything else, it's like, if it doesn't feel good, I'm not doing it anymore, period. And so, yeah, and I have a gym to where I'm staying now, and me and Dominique are going to connect soon. So we're definitely going to be in the gym. And yeah, so I feel good. What about yours? Positive, challenge, positive.
Okay. I need one quick break, B.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, we back.
So my double challenge, my one challenge and my two positives. So positive number one, I had an amazing photo shoot this weekend. It was so dope and amazing. And I got 2 sneak peek pictures and they're both fabulous.
When are we gonna see a sneak peek?
What'd you say?
When are we gonna see a sneak peek?
So sneak peek is on IG.
Okay.
And there will be a sneak peek of my professional, because my sexy one is on IG, only on my stories. Okay. And then my professional sneak peek is going to come out tomorrow on my Facebook. So my business.
Oh,
page.
You didn't post it on your main page. You just did it in the stories.
Correct.
Oh, okay. All right, bet. All right. I love it.
Keep up with Dominique, guys.
Follow. Put your Instagram handle out there.
Yes, guys, follow I am Dominique Rice on IG, okay? Because you're missing out on all this wonderfulness if you're not.
And I don't have Instagram. I'll be back later.
Right. I literally send Bianca my pictures like, bitch, look at this.
I love it.
I forgot you don't have Instagram.
Not having Instagram is so interesting because like you'll see like who you really talk to. Like people that actually talk to me, like they'll start if they don't see me on Instagram, they'll text me like, hey, and then they'll start texting me like I got invited to a virtual Florida Fit dance class, and it's like these are people that I actually talk to. Like, so it's cool. I like it.
I mean, I talked to her anyways. I'm like, oh my God, you don't even know what's going on because you haven't been on Instagram.
Yeah, I didn't see that picture until just now. Like, whoa.
Yes.
Missing it, but yeah,
it was great. And then my challenge this week is definitely a very personal challenge. So I want to be very, very vulnerable with you guys. That's part of the reason why we're here. We're not trying to sugarcoat things, but as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I actually have a boyfriend, and we had our first, not our first, because we've known each other for a very long time, but we had a very interesting argument. And I realized some things about myself and about my personal trauma. So one thing, and I've dated someone like this before, where when we get into an argument, they kind of shut down on me, and it makes me feel like I'm like being abandoned. So it brings back a lot of trauma, a lot of like emotional things, and I had to experience that this week. And so, I just definitely, have some healing to do. So that was definitely a challenge for this week.
And so what are you doing to start your healing?
So I think the first step to healing is to like first admit that you have healing to do. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of times we as Black women, Black people in the whole, we typically don't look at trauma. We don't look at healing as often as we should. So the first step is to admit that I have some healing to do. Now, what I have to do is figure out, how that trauma manifests inside of me and how to protect myself from that and really, begin the healing journey. So that's where I am about really uncovering where that trauma is coming from and why that hurts me so much. Because sometimes things are so much deeper and we think it's like a surface level thing. Like, I know there's a joke that I always say, it's like the principalities, but principles and principalities that are self-made come from somewhere, comes from either your upbringing or your values or trauma. So like it's a principle thing that's like, don't abandon me, don't walk away when we're disagreeing with each other, so that's very important to me. So I have to figure out why that is so traumatic for me and why that's so hurtful. And so like that's the journey that I'm on, is like really journaling. I also have pushed my personal training sessions back to later in the day. I've shortened my work day, so then that way I can begin just taking more time to read, to do things that I need to do for myself, because there's healing that needs to occur. So that's kind of where I am with that. So I don't know where I'm going with it, but that's where I'm starting. So stay tuned for the journey.
And that's all that matters right now.
Right. Let's say another thing is just like I'm making just a shit ton of money doing all kinds of different ventures. But one venture that I'm doing is I'm investing in a tech company this week. Super excited. It's a really great company. Feel free to DM me on IG if you have questions about it, but they're going to be on a great show on Amazon Prime TV. And it's a company I believe in. It's also Black owned, and they're in the cannabis space. So tech company in the cannabis space, I mean, how much more dope can it be? So, right, you know, like it's just everything in one that I love. And it's like some guys that came together and they're making their dreams come true. And I'm like, you know what? I am so blessed. Like I want to bless them, and I want to see, I'm not just investing because, oh, I know I'm going to make a lot of money back and I really believe in this company, but I'm investing because I want to see these brothers win. You know what I mean? And like when you invest like that, like, you know, God's going to bless you. So, you know, this is my first time, and I do my little IRA 401k stuff with my, you know, financial advisor, but this is like my first time being like an actual investor in a company, you know? So like,
Yeah,
I feel like
this is great.
go for girl, you know? So it feels good.
Awesome. Great weeks. Great week.
Yeah.
All right. So our topic for this week is solution oriented individuals like you and I. And
Okay.
how do we react to people that are just not solution oriented? That always thinks about the problems before the solution.
So they're
You
not
can name
anabolic.
something, yes, yes, cannabolic energy. So you could say, listen, I want to do this, and all they'll do is put out all of the negatives, everything that could go wrong prior to even actually like manifesting the fact that it could actually happen.
So, you know, I had an incident like probably about an hour ago with my mother, and she said something like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this tomorrow. Like, can you help me with this tomorrow? I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. I said, Mom, you're putting that energy out there, and that is negative. I said, you need to manifest what you want. And she's like, okay. You know, I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later. So like I had to like, and I didn't want to, you know, be so aggressive, you know, but I'm like, you're the words that come out of your mouth, you're manifesting. When you say something, when you're negative to yourself, you know, when you speak those things, you're speaking that into existence. So you have to choose whether you're going to speak life into yourself or not. Are
Mm-hmm.
you speaking life, wins, gain, success, things of that nature? Is that what you're speaking yourself? Because if that's not what you're speaking into yourself, then the opposite is going to happen. When you speak into yourself harm, sadness, you know, anger, when you speak that, that's what you're manifesting in yourself. There's power in the tongue. That's why we pray. That's why we say things out loud. That's why we say affirmations, because we have to understand as humans, there's power in the tongue. You know, if you look at different things like surveys, studies, like with plants that are dying, when the plants are dying, they sing to them or talk to them and they come back to life.
Mm.
That energy is so magnetic. So, you know, I think the biggest thing to do is like, one, I personally, Bianca's better than me because she'll go tell people and try to find out why they're negative. I'm at the point where I'm just like, I ain't got time to be teaching other grown people. Like, y'all need to go to therapy, get yourself a spoon, to go to coaching school, something. I don't have the energy right now to invest into that unless you're like in my intermediate family. So I don't got many tips for that other than like, I got to leave them the hell alone. That's Dominique.
Yeah. So for me, if I sense that you have cannabolic energy and I respect you as a human being, I respect human beings, but if I respect you in, the things that you have to say and the value that you bring to my life, then I will take the time to figure out exactly why you would have that perspective on things. But then I also have to realize that if you're going to continue to put out the negative in scenarios first, then I'm going to have to go ahead and let you go. And what's interesting is I started to realize this in a particular sign. It's almost like if I was to discuss any dreams or aspirations that I had with one particular individual, we both work corporate jobs. So she was not familiar with being an entrepreneur. So when I started to talk about how I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and she was like, well, hun, you got to keep up with your lifestyle. Like, what are you going to do about your lifestyle? I'm really worried for you. I'm really worried. And it's like, I realized like, this is you. This is how you feel about yourself. And you're trying to project this onto me. Like, these are your insecurities. So that was one. Of course, I'm going to respect a colleague, right? if we work in similar backgrounds, you know, she understands what I'm going through, but she's not willing to take the risk and I was, then those are not the individuals that you want to talk to. When I quit my job, I used to talk about it constantly. Dominique knows I used to talk about wanting to quit my job over and over. She never, not one time did she ever say, bitch, why don't you just do it? Then stop talking about it, right? But we knew we had a deadline. I used to talk about it all the time. And then, but with the day that I actually did it, I didn't consult with anybody because I was like, no one, yeah, I didn't consult with anybody because I was like, at the end of the day, no one is going to understand the position I feel that I'm in right now. So I have to do it. And so I ran across another individual. She's very knowledgeable in many different aspects, but like it could be anything. Like if it doesn't align with what she wants to do in life or what is ideal for her, she'll always point out the negatives in things. And so the next time I've been challenged that the next time I interact with her, and that happens, I'm going to ask her, so what makes you point out the negative scenario in situations than the positive? I'm going to ask her that question and see what comes up. And Dominique looks bored because she's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But
what it's like, funny, yeah, my mom is that same sign.
Exactly. So
I know what she's discussing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my mom too, you know? So like, again, like we look to us, we need to look at numerology. There's so many things to look at, you know, and I'd like that direct hands-on question, but I'm not going to be doing coaching on my friends.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. Like it's too exhausting. And it's like, if that's who you are, you know what I mean? Now, please don't get it twisted. If you're just having a rough time, like I have a friend who's having a rough time and I can't wait to be with her tomorrow and let her be whatever she wants to be. Mm-hmm. But if that it's different between going through a hard time and like always being negative, because you have sadness. You have depression, you have anxiety. They manifest in people differently. But if you're natural, I'm saying if you're natural personality, but if you're just going through something like I want to love you and give grace and all that, you know what I mean? But like if your natural thing is you've always been that since I've known you, I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I'm and it's my fault because if I'm sensitive to energy, that's something else that I have to work on because I shouldn't let anybody else's energy rub off on me to that extent. So that's also something that I have to do. Mm-hmm. You know, so like that's maybe why it's hard for me to be around those people because it reminds me of all the self-work that I have to do by being around them. So right now I'm not in the space, like I'm in a space where I'm like, when I get off the phone with my friends, I'm like, we're like screaming, yes, bitch, abundance, manifest that shit. Like that's what we're screaming when we get off the phone. So like if you're like getting off the phone like, well, I hope that works out for you, like that's not how I want to say bye to my friends. Like, and that's any of my friends. It's all on the same stuff. Like my closest friends are all reading the same stuff. They don't even know each other. Like Bianca's reading that. T's reading that. You know, everybody's doing the same stuff. Like, and that's how you know you're aligned. So anything that doesn't align with what's working for me, I gotta let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to, for one, not project my insecurities onto other individuals, and I don't want them to project it onto me. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what it really comes down to. Like, this is not ideal for you. This is something that doesn't work for you. So therefore, just because that's the situation for you, doesn't mean that you need to project it onto me. Because I receive, and I'm very sensitive to energy as well. So, so we'll see how it goes. But at the end of the day, I'm just very solution oriented. Like when I'm presented with something, I'm not the first thing and I worked on this too. I'm very cautious and I love to have I love a good backup plan. But at the end of the day, like I just want to be positive in scenarios and only control what I can control. And that's me. Oh no, you froze. Yeah. Okay, you're back.
Oh, B?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
It's mine.
Oh.
Yeah. So I gotta go find somewhere to coach on Sunday. Anyways, so yeah, so that's that. Dang, I don't even have a fun question for the week prepared. Hold on.
Okay, I got some. I got one.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm gonna make this up. It's gonna be sexy. Hold on.
Okay, let's
Okay.
I don't know what that was, but
about Your most romantic first kiss.
Mm.
Because I don't know mine. So, I mean, I'm going to figure it out while we wait. But
Can I manifest it, or do I have to talk about one in the past?
ooh, you're going to manifest one?
I'm gonna manifest a
All
romantic, the
right.
most
Well,
romantic.
will you tell us about it when it happens?
Yes, I'm gonna vlog it. Not the kiss, but the situation.
Well, okay, that sounds good. I would say, so for those of y'all don't know, I was married before. That's like, I mean, it's not a
Wait, before
secret.
you go, let me manifest it. Let me say it out loud how it's gonna go.
Oh, shit, you can manifest it right now. Go ahead. The power of the tongue.
Okay.
Literally.
So it's gonna be, she's flying in, and she's gonna come meet me at my condo here, and I'm gonna open the door, and she's gonna be so beautiful, and she's gonna grab me, and I'm gonna grab her, and then we're gonna go through a long romantic kiss, and then, oh wait, no, let me stop. I'm gonna give her a lemon shot first because COVID. I'm gonna give her a lemon shot first.
So you're gonna open the door. You guys are gonna cheers with a lemon shot. Make it sexy.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm opening the door. I'm gonna have 2 lemon shots, and we're gonna cheers, and we're gonna take it, and then we're gonna vibe, and then we're gonna hug, and then we're gonna kiss, and it's gonna be the most romantic first kiss in the entire world. It's gonna be the most romantic everything. I'm already calling it.
Hey.
You ever meet, not meet, but you ever connect with somebody for the first time and you like envision like what it's going to be like the first time you guys are intimate, and then like it never, and then it didn't really pan out that way. It just was kind of like a hookup, and y'all just couldn't wait, and it just happened. See, I want this to be super, super intimate and super romantic. So I'm manifesting it.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
So I'm changing mine. I remember mine. Okay, so I got flued out.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say where, but
I don't know where. Okay, go ahead.
It was in the Midwest. I got flew out to a big city in the Midwest. It wasn't anything fancy with this guy, and we were talking, very similar situation. We kind of like knew each other through someone, and then like he's super successful. He's actually in the cannabis industry. Yeah, I keep going back to that. And we just like really vibed for business, and he like, it was so special. He like flew me out, like his assistant booked all my tickets, and like it was perfect. And then he like picked me up from the airport with flowers, and then he took me to this amazing restaurant, and we had a wonderful dinner, and I had on my fur coat, y'all. So I was wearing my fur and my boots, and you
are literally my best friend in business, because like, listen, our like the fur coat, I have that on the first date so many times, but go ahead.
I love a good fur coat. Like, I think fur coats are so sexy. And I wear real fur, okay? Because if I pour some paint in my stuff, we got a problem. Okay.
I wear fur. So, go ahead.
Save the animals. I eat animals and wear them. And then we just went out for a drink, and when we walked into the place for a drink, he grabbed my wrist, pulls me close to him, put his arm around me, and just gave me the most romantic kiss. But it wasn't like, it was like a long kiss, and it wasn't like a super like Frenchy French kiss, but it was like a little bit of tongue in it, and it was like so romantic.
Oh, and then is that the first time you saw him since you got off the plane? Oh, yes. Wait, it was for dinner, so you had the chance to like get freshened up and all that?
Right. So then I got changed for dinner, then we went to a restaurant, but then we went somewhere else for a drink, and that's when he kissed me, like after dinner, like right before the drinks.
Ooh, I wonder how that night turned out.
Lots of fun.
Yes, when I stop recording and be like, what was this? I love it. Well, that's our show for this week. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see. Oh, if you're interested in booking a session with Dominique, go to dominiquerice.com. If you're interested in booking a session with me, go to biancaariel.com. And we'll see you back next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.